All right, let's get to some brand new reporting on the Baltimore Bridge collapse. Here are three things you need to know right now. First up, we are expecting an update from Maryland Governor Wes Moore in less than 10 minutes. We will bring that to you live as soon as it begins. Second, a crane from the Navy is expected to arrive any minute now. I believe one is on scene at the moment. We heard that from our Scott Broom a little earlier. They're going to start removing some of that debris. And lastly, 3 Maryland Transportation Authority officers were honored for their bravery at today's Orioles game. Here they are right here. Sergeant Paul Pastoric, Corporal Jeremy Herbert, and Officer Gary Kurtz. They're the ones who rushed to stop traffic on the bridge after that ship's mayday call early Tuesday morning, undoubtedly saving so many lives. So yes, as we wait for that update from Governor Moore, Scott Broom gets us up to speed on where the investigation stands tonight.
Late this afternoon at the Key Bridge, we can see the first of what promises to be a forest of heavy cranes mounted on barges headed to Baltimore. It has arrived. Tonight, new video shows the salvage operation underway as federal and state agencies use sonar equipment to survey the area where the Francis Scott Key Bridge collapsed. The state of Maryland issuing a new report estimating the cleanup and debris recovery alone will cost $60 million. Divers recovered 2 bodies Wednesday, and 4 other construction workers are presumed dead.
Our hearts are with the families, and to all the families, we are so sorry for this tragedy.
Maryland State Police identified the men found as 35-year-old Alejandro Hernandez Fuentes, originally from Mexico, and 26-year-old Dorlean Castillo Cabrera from Guatemala. Among the missing, Maynard Yasser Suazo Sandoval, a father of 2, described by his brother as kind and big-hearted. And tonight, we're hearing from the wife of Jose Lopez. He was in a concrete mixer truck on the bridge, she says. 4.5 agonizing hours after the collapse, she got the call from the construction company.
I feel bad. Only God knows how hard my heart aches. Maybe he was desperate, trying to escape.
Isabel Franco says a co-worker told her the crew was told to pack up for the day and move out early because of weather conditions. Police gave her these sheets of PowerPoint slides mapping an overview of the search strategy. The update was not in Spanish, so she didn't understand. And she says no local, state, or national leaders have reached out to her.
She's desperate. She feels bad because she doesn't see anything. She doesn't know anything. And she's desperate.
The National Transportation Safety Board says it may be as many as 2 years before they have a final report about what happened here. There is no estimate of when the Port of Baltimore may be reopened or when the bridge will be rebuilt. In Baltimore, Scott Broom, WUSA 9.
And your heart really does just ache for the families of those victims. Scott, thank you. And we also just got word from the White House roughly 25 minutes ago that $60 million federal dollars will be sent to Maryland to help with cleanup of this site. And yeah, that's going to be a tough task. And we want to take a closer look at this salvage operation currently underway. Chris Van Cleve got it on the water today with U.S. Coast Guard near the Dolly and that wreckage.
It's not until you get up close that you start to get a real sense for just how giant this cargo ship is. The Dolly right there loaded down with all of those cargo containers. And then when you start to look at what's left of the Francis Scott Key Bridge, it is an enormous debris field. And the Army Corps of Engineers now has to clear it all out. They need to make a 700-foot-long channel. And to do that, they have to remove every piece of debris, and not just what you can see on the surface, everything that's sunk some 50 feet down to the bottom, because there's only about a foot to a foot and a half of clearance for one of these big cargo ships when they're loaded down. So anything that's left behind could be a potential danger to those ships. To get the stuff off the bottom, they're going to have to put divers down there, and it is murky, almost pitch black conditions down there, and they're going to be cutting the debris by hand with torches and then lifting it out. But it all starts back over here at the Dolly, and that giant piece of the bridge that's resting on the bow, they estimate that weighs between 3,000 and 4,000 tons. Here's the problem. The biggest crane on the East Coast can only lift 1,000 tons. It will be here tonight, but in order to move all of that debris, they're going to have to cut that section into pieces and then slowly lift it off that giant cargo ship. Once the work starts, it will be a 24/7 operation around the clock until this channel is clear and the port can reopen. Chris Van Cleve, CBS News, Baltimore.
Yeah, and you heard from our Scott Broom just minutes ago that a crane is on site right now, one of many cranes that will be used to help remove some of that wreckage. And you can see more of Chris's reporting tonight on the CBS Evening News with Nora O'Donnell. And you can find all of our coverage by scanning this QR code right here. If you have your phone in your hand, just point the camera at your screen. A link should pop up with all the stories we have done so far on this just terrible tragedy. The NTSB tells us their full investigation could take up to 2 years to complete.